Are back, ladies and gentlemen. First Touch Season 5, Episode 8. What it do? First Touch Crew. First Touch Crew. FTC. 1, 2, salute. You already know what it is, man. We got a good show for you today. Of course, it's me, Dazzler. Do what I do, what I do, how I do when I'm doing it. General, roll Diz. No, wait. General roll. Wake up at 5 a.m. Jizz. I'm in the militia. And of course, at the end, TB3. Look at Cook Zone Cook, man. How we doing today, man? How we doing? How we doing?
You need a little bit of practice on
that.
Yeah,
you're all over that, buddy. You're all over the place. You're all over the place.
You want to run it back? I can run it back.
Take number two.
Okay. So I was a little nervous. I always get nervous before we start the show.
4 years in.
What it do, First Touch Crew? FTC. 1, 2, salute. We got Dazzling. Do what I do, what I do, how I do when I'm doing it. General, roll, wake up at 5 a.m. Jib, Dismond, the militia. And of course, TB3. Look at Cook Zone Cook, man.
There we go. That's good, man.
There we go. There we go.
That's better.
There we go. There we go. We'll edit it and post. I'll be the first one. All right, gentlemen, how we doing today? How we doing?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. Got a early wake up today. Took little boy for the walk, for the one time, and then came up here to yap with y'all. So I'm having a great day. Happy Mother's Day, by the way. That just passed by.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
Of course.
Of course, yes. Happy belated Mother's Day, of course. If you didn't tell your mom you love her yesterday, tell her, or I'll tell her. Either way. That being said, we got a good show for you guys today. But we got to recap something that's been going on for a long time. Some things change, but NRG stays the same. NRG on top again after sweeping SSG in the grand finals. Let's show that bracket, man. NA Open 5 almost could have been an email. The way it was so predictable, except for some power outages in the group stage. I'm talking about that Ultimates versus Gen G Mobile 1 lower round 1 loss, which we'll get into a little bit later. Kind of threw the bracket in disarray with Ultimates having a power outage on Friday. Like I said, we'll get to that later. That being said, the bracket is a lot more different than normal, but you again see Gen G trying to make the run. They got upset by the boys in the quarterfinals. NRG ended up sweeping the boys and then going to sweep SSG. NRG only dropped 1 game this entire regional event. It was one of, or I think according to Direct, it was the most dominant win in North America ever. As we get into this, man, you got to give me your thoughts. Roll this. How'd you feel about it?
I mean, honestly, it was kind of, it was lacking something. It was lacking excitement for me personally. Just to see a team come in and completely dominate the entire weekend. I want North America to kind of stand up a little bit. We need our talent is just it's just outclassed by a lot, and I don't know what's going on right now. But we even got 2 EU teams making the top 8 right now. It's just I don't know what's going on. Maybe the region might be cooked a little bit, but I mean, congrats to the NRG. They really dominated this weekend, so big props to them.
Man, this man just can't just congratulate. Man, it's good to have a dominant team, bro.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
It's good to have a dominant team. I'll tell you why, man. Because you want to have somebody to root for. And also, they're not even dominant yet because they haven't became world champions. They have to get the job done.
They're dominating domestically.
That's great, man. Listen, Carmine dominating domestically as well. We've always had domination in our esports, man. You want to go back to Dignitas, BDS. Listen, the new Dignitas after the old Dignitas, the G2, which is this roster, but the old G2s. I mean, we've always had a lot of domination, man. NA for the most part.
Wait, hold on. You saying the old G2s? Which roster?
Yeah, the old G2s with Atomic, JNAP Chicago.
Bro, that roster dominated for no, because they had competition with NRG though. Do you not forget the old
JNAP's
NRG?
Atomic Chicago. JNAP's Atomic Chicago had no competition, bro. There's no comp.
For what, 6 months?
Hey man, that's 6 months of domination, man. That's
Okay,
6 months.
buddy.
That's 6 months domination, bro. And listen, it's not complete domination because once again, They haven't even won all 3 opens in a row. They've never done that before. They're gonna try to do that this time around when we get Coach Satthew. We'll ask him about it, see if they can get the job done. Man, listen. And also, you got to think about Zen. Like when Zen came on, that was cool. They won all 3. Then they win all 3 regionals / opens, and then they ended up winning spring and ended up winning worlds. That was a cool story, man. That was a cool story.
All I'm saying is one team could be dominating, but when they go up against international competition, they need some practice, bro. They need some practice. They can't just have this comp over here go over internationally and then expect to just dominate internationally. Like they just need comp over here for good practice, man. We got to get them prepped and ready to play the best.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Listen, bro. That might be good for them, might not be good for them, man. You only can play against who's in front of you. And right now, they're out here dominating. And listen, tell the other teams to get better.
I'm gonna bring it up.
Where the highlights? Where the bracket? Where the highlights? Where the brackets, man? We got a lot.
We saw the bracket already. Let's take a look at the highlights. Yep, pay attention to the show, please.
All right,
let's get into those highlights and we can watch them. Now, this is gonna be highlights against Space Station Gaming. But the thing is, you look at these and you look at some of these goals, and it's not gonna you're not gonna really see too much work here. SSG,
this is good work, man. They're getting outplayed, bro. They got 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody touched the ball, man. That's good.
A great goal.
That's good Rocket League right there, bro. Beast mode
up high. That's a great goal.
Listen, Reveal wants to try to make a play here. Kofor, good air dribble by him. Listen, this quality from SSG. Generate a little opportunity. Daniel could play some better defense, I believe. But it's fine. It happens. Sometimes, listen, you can't always play the most optimal play every single time. Look at Dan right middle. Atomic. Bang. That's a great play. That's a 1, 2, 3. One win for a bump. That's good quality Rocket League, man. Listen, Reveal and no Man's Island. Once again, Kofor, you're in an awkward position. Beast mode, but dunk that. That's a good play again, man. These are all good goals.
Yeah, and then you'll see the rest of them.
Okay. Kofor, I don't know what Daniel's doing right there. Damn, we need better defense, baby. Atomic, get by 1. Look at that. Dan's coming right back. Listen, a little bit of shaky defense. That's a championship middle. Come right back and score.
Yep.
I mean, no, you can't say that, bro. Because Scribbles was out here balling out on defense the whole entire weekend. Clearly, he's in an awkward position. 2-2 SSG versus NRG. That's fine.
That's an open net. Oh.
This SSG team that made all the way to the grand final, man. They were winning. They were beating teams.
Yeah, bro, but when they go up against NRG, it's just different levels,
They went Game 7 last time these two teams played. What you talking about?
Different levels. Oh, well, clearly that didn't happen this time.
It didn't because NRG's gotten better. SSG's gotten better as well. But not good enough. Look, Beast Mode is playing nice, calm, poised.
They haven't gotten better against NRG, though.
Well, NRG got better. The only thing better than a 4-3 loss is a win. NRG got better, so I don't know what you want out of it.
What? I didn't say anything different. I said there was no comp here.
Because what? NRG is better. NRG is better than the man. Put ones in chat.
Of course they are. Like that's an obvious statement. they just swept them. You're not saying anything like.
So what happens if Carmine goes and dominates all EU? Is that no comp?
Pretty much, yeah. It's the same thing.
That's unbelievable. This is unbelievable. That got plenty
of
comp
for
over there.
them.
No comp for them. Listen, 2-2 right here, 4-2. These some good plays right here. What's going on here? See, like, hey, that's a good heads-up play. I love that. That was the best play Beast Mode made all weekend right there. Good heads-up play. Head on the swivel. I'm going to shoot the demo. Atomic, you go tap it in, baby. Come on. Look at this. And out here, Massimo is doing what he does. A little crossover step back. Right back over. Beast Mode gonna tap down in, man. It's just good quality Rocket League, bro. Good quality Rocket League. Now, was it as entertaining, high octane that people would like to see? I would say no. I would say no. You want some of these other teams to be better, significantly. But also, man, maybe it's just because the best team in the region is just that much better than their belts right now. Maybe that is what it is.
I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like SSG could have done a little bit more in that series. Felt like they were too aggressive. And they left a lot of room to be desired on the back end defensively. And NRG took advantage of it. But that being said, you can't deny it, man. NRG's a great Rocket League team. They know how to adjust, and they made that series look easy. Not a lot of people. I mean, you saw how SSG did over the weekend. Every team they played, they really did show up and show out against them. But they go up against NRG like most teams, and it's tough for them. It's tough for them.
What's
that
tough?
Being winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, would you never expect SSG to beat NRG, though, bro? I mean, SSG is just levels to this. There's just levels to this, man.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
I think I would
the
have
Cleveland
expected
Cavaliers to beat the Indianapolis Pacers.
I would expect them to like take a game.
Take a game?
Yeah, at least a game.
I mean, one game wouldn't make no difference. One game versus 4 games is all the same thing. You still getting whooped. You still got to go back to the drawing board. Still got to figure out what you got to do to get better. Listen, SSG, they've been improving, but NRG, they're on one right now. Simple and plain. And I think the best thing that happened to NRG is they lost. They didn't make the grand finals back in Birmingham. They got new motivations.
And that's everything. You're right. I mean, looking at it, that's how it feels. And I mean, yeah. There's not much to say about it, but we could yap about it. Let's talk to somebody who is in the field, who's watching the troops play, and who's in the back end. The one, the only NRG Satthew. Satthew, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm obviously, after yesterday, life's good. Life's really good.
Let's go. We got to put some W to the chat for Big Ackerman, man. W to the chat for NRG Satthew, formerly G2 Satthew. You know what Satthew brings to the table, man. Matt, of course, always good having you on. And Matt, listen, I can't wait to heir your thoughts, man, because listen, we've already got two people saying, oh man, it's just so boring, so bad. Yep. So I'm interested to hear what you got to say about everything. Mark, what are we talking about first?
What?
Hold on. I want to clarify something. It's not boring because they're that good. It's boring because there's no comp. And that's not a knock on them. It's not supposed to be a diss on NRG. They're just that good.
Was it boring when the Golden State Warriors went 73-9?
Oh.
Yes, it was. Yes. You knew the outcome. You weren't even tuning into the regular season. I know you didn't watch all them regular season games. Stop casting.
Because they're the great.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Why are you just lying on live Twitch?
I mean, bro, listen, 73-9 season was amazing. Both are entertaining.
You didn't watch every single game.
Well, listen, it's just about what you want to quantify as entertainment. I think the issue is that you need to have the middle of the pack teams. The middle of the pack teams need to be playing each other more or something. They need to have more stakes for the middle of the pack. Right now, it's so focused on who's going to win the tournament. But I already know who's like really likely to win the tournament. There's only so many teams per year that can actually win a tournament, especially regionally. So they need to have more emphasis on the teams who can't win, build their stories up to make those matches compelling, rather than just everybody running to NRG on the back end and just NRG winning again. You know what's going to happen on the top side. I want to know I want a narrative. I want a story. What's happening underneath the top side on that tier 2 or that tier 1B level, not the tier 1A, but the tier 1B level on the pro level gameplay. Give me those storylines. That's what I want. That's what makes it more entertaining. It's not the fact that NRG's winning. They're going to win. I know that. You know that. DeMar knows that. Matt knows that as well. That's why he's smirking. You see what I'm saying?
No,
that's what Regional 3 is about, though, yeah? I mean, it's always the most exciting one because now we get those storylines to come out.
That man said Regional 3 is the best because that means, like, we're just out of it. So you don't even gotta watch us no more. You don't even gotta watch us. You can just watch them now.
Everybody else.
Like we don't matter, bro. We already made it. Now we just watching everybody else catch up.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but the Regional 3 good for them too, because now they're going for something they've never been able to do before. I believe first time y'all start off 2-0 in the opens was back all the way in spring 22. Ended up losing to FK, and then I think y'all have gotten 2 more times y'all won twice, or maybe 3 more times y'all won twice.
It's more after that.
Yeah. So y'all, that's another storyline for them.
Now three.
Yeah. So now storyline for them. They start off 2-0 and opens again. Can they finish off? Can they get the 3 in a row? Does that matter to the team? Cool. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That one's cool. But like you said, now we really get the secondary storylines to come out, and these are exciting, man. Like, who's gonna make the major? Like, that's always fun. That's always fun to figure out in this last event of the split. So, or online event of the split. So I'm excited.
True.
I'm excited to watch.
And I want us to dive in deep to that too. But I mean, first, Matt, let's. I want to ask you a couple questions about you and your squad while we got you here, of course. So we talk about how well you guys are doing, but I want to know the challenges. What's been the biggest challenge for you this season so far?
It's always going to be maintenance of like how we play. Maintaining like the same standards week in, week out is a challenge in itself. Not even just from like a coaching standpoint, but how you even set up your weeks, kind of what you play for, what teams you're even scrimming, how often you're scrimming. That's all stuff that's been like modified this year. And I talked to my close circle of like people that I trust. and we sort things out. And, I get differing opinions from not inside my direct, team circle, but just people I trust in the scene. And, we made adjustments to kind of counteract just, how tough it is to keep a play style going. So that's probably been the most difficult thing is like we set a really high standard for ourselves in the last year with, making every grand final. And to uphold that is just, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard. But we're doing a good job right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, you can see that a little bit. You talked about that play style and trying to maintain it, and you can see that on the field as well with your guys' approach to the game.
Yeah.
But you got to talk to me about how it feels while you're making all these adjustments, and then you're doing all your work in. I've seen it yourself where I tried to do things with you. You're like, hey, bro, I got to lock in. We got to get this stuff locked down. I've been on the PC locked in for weeks, and you put in all this work.
Yeah.
And then you get comments online saying, yeah, the guys are more just defensive. They're just a really, really defensive team. And I mean, I don't want to speak on how you feel. You tell me when you see that.
Yeah. I mean, look, the defensive thing, it just caught me off guard because like I've always equated like offense and being a pressure heavy team to you can't put it all into stats. I think Ferris said that on Shotcast as well, but like stats don't tell the whole story. However, I think there are some pretty key indicators of like how often you're in the other team's half, your shot differential, just simple one, like surface level stuff like that, I think can kind of start telling a little bit of the story. And we've always looked good in those stats against pretty much everyone except like KC. So that's kind of where I got a little caught off guard. I think if you said maybe relative to last year, at some points, yeah, I could see maybe there's like, we're not going for as many things as we want to. But Birmingham in my eyes was kind of there were small adjustments we had to make, and we kind of, also just weren't executing at like the highest level that we could. So I think that kind of in turn leads to us looking more defensive. But again, even Farah, he'd mentioned to everyone, go watch like us versus Vitality. If you call us defensive, I don't know what to say to you, after a series like that. And we play most teams like that. It's really one of the few teams that kind of puts us more on the back foot is KC because they're so good at that too. So there's differences between our play, but I think we both kind of favor having, the ball in the other team's half more than, the rest of the field. Like rest of the field as in other teams. So it just caught me off guard. It's not like, and trust me too, I know what defense is. I played on the Sonics. That was a defensive team.
That was the defensive team.
I knew how we structured. I knew how we were supposed to set up to play that way. And I played on that, and I played on the complete other side of the spectrum on Bread and SSG. And they were complete opposite play styles. And as a player, I knew which one I liked better. And that translated into how I coach my teams. And so, yeah, we probably we looked off at Birmingham. But that was more on the execution side of things, I think, and kind of how creative we were being in the other team's half when we had the ball there. And so because we scored less, I think that's kind of where that narrative came. But I don't think it was anything crazy. And I can get where the opinion comes from. In a vacuum with like a Carmine, definitely see it. But I think otherwise, I think we're one of the most aggressive teams in the world. So yeah.
That's great answer. I mean, looking at just bringing in those numbers, because you bring up the KC matchup, I'm just going to do the comparison from NRG shots for and against Carmi Corp versus how they did last regional. Against Carmi Corp, they averaged 6.83 shots a game, but Carmi Corp averaged 9.33 shots against them. Yeah. Regionally, in this last regional event, it was 9.71 shots NRG was averaging against their competition, and then they were only allowing 6.61.
Yeah.
So definitely, yeah, go ahead.
Well, and like the question's never been like domestically how we look. If you go to any split where we played, we're always going to be one of the best shot differential wise against NA. We're always going to be the best in most time in the other team's offensive third compared to other teams. It's just, I guess some people thought we were defensive in general. Some people thought we were defensive against other top teams. my point is like, again, I don't against like in general, I don't understand that one against other top teams. I'm saying my point is I still don't fully understand it because again, you look at stats of us versus Falcons against Furia against
Yeah.
Vitality. You're gonna see either pretty similar shot differentials or we're actually leading, and time in their half and their third, you're gonna see us usually have the edge against the ultimates too. Like it. That's kind of and so people have different takes on what is defensive. I think it was also kind of a semantics thing, but I see a lot of value in those stats, or at least like storytelling in those stats, and that's kind of where my head's at on that topic. But that thing, I did not expect it to be actually like become a hot topic. My tweet was probably a little strong worded, but I still don't know that people.
Yeah, you acknowledged it
with
your tweet. You acknowledged it. You gave the people their crumbs. Their crumbs. You gave them something to eat off of. You said, "Wow, Sathew's reading everything." He said, "We read everything and all that, all that type of stuff." Paraphrasing, like, listen, you gave them what they wanted. Now Reddit feels vindicated. Now Reddit feels vindicated for the thoughts.
Well, the thing is, it didn't even come from Reddit. I really do try to stay away from Reddit. Honestly, I'll browse it from time to time. It was just, I guess, at the Birmingham major, I was getting a lot of direct responses from some NRG fans, from some NRG haters. That stuff's obviously, tough to read sometimes, and so that was kind of where that tweet spurred from.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't consider myself someone to like talk a lot, and my players don't talk a lot. Like we keep to ourselves, and so it was just something that it came out. It was pent up frustration, I guess. But
yeah, well, it makes sense. You guys addressed it. You addressed it well, and you guys are continuing to do you, so to speak. NRG still looking very efficient, regardless of what anybody's saying. What's it like in the camp? Obviously, we all have our own conversations, but for those in the public, what's kind of like that motivation factor that's going on in the boys' minds this season for them?
I think, well, one thing is obviously, like I said earlier, to follow up how we did last year. World Championship is still in our sights. We won a major. So now it's like Worlds is that next step. So that's the most important thing to us this year. To really get like a more efficient practice day daily. So we kind of adjusted how deep into NA we scrim. We like closed that circle by quite a bit. We used to actually scrim a lot of different teams last year. Now we're probably, kind of brought it back to like top 6 with the occasional like team outside of there. And, we looked at how often we're practicing too versus how often we're like doing replays, or at least doing individual replays. And we kind of balance that out a bit more. It's not always just kind of mindlessly playing or like brute force like practice. It's a little more careful in that. So the guys have just been like generally happier since we started doing all of that, since we made adjustments and all that. They all feel like they're playing better. They don't feel like they're overthinking anything. They feel confident in what we're doing. A big theme this split has been just optimism. That's both on and off the field. That's like the key word for us, is like being optimistic in so many different ways. So we're all in a really good mental space right now. I think the guys are playing some of the best Rocket League I've seen them play since we formed as a roster. And so, it's just, like I said at the beginning, life's good. Life's really good right now.
Life's good. Life's really good right now. Matt's feeling good, man. Listen, what he just told everybody is that y'all don't need to scrim every single day. Or maybe you do need to, well, no, you don't need to scrim 3 times a day.
He didn't say that
much. And you don't
just
need to scrim 3 times
give yourself proper breaks.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And words of Raul, he created a word last night. We called it enablation. You got enablation in your team.
Enablation, no, it's called enableize, bro. You gotta.
No, you said enablation, bro. I have the VOD proof on Dazzler's screen.
In that context of what I was saying, but like in this context of how you're using it, it's enableize.
Enableize also is not a word.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter, bro. It is a word, bro. You just gotta run with it, all right?
Okay. Okay.
It enableizes his team.
All right, man. Listen, Matt. Obviously, I asked Mossy this yesterday. I got his thoughts. I'm gonna ask you. Last time y'all played SSG, it was 4-3. That was open number 1 all the way back in January. Obviously, this time around, yesterday you swept them 4-0. Wasn't close.
Yep.
Well, what are the key differences between NRG in January versus NRG in May as you continue to ramp up for RALEIGH and of course Leon?
again, just that optimism. We're willing to, kind of be there for each other in a lot more situations on the field, around the field. We've definitely improved some of our inefficiencies that we had even at Birmingham. Bates, even I looked at a replay with you. We're doing
we did
some of those situations where we're, I think, being very inefficient in those moments that really kind of disrupted our flow. We've cut out a lot more of that, and the guys are flowing a lot better now. So I think we tightened up in a lot of spaces. We're more optimistic. We're more in their face just a bit more. We're putting really good shots on. I think just execution wise, because we're feeling more confident in how we're shooting and the opportunities we are getting. We're just shooting better as well, because we should
was at like 18%, and anything better than 18%. Dan, come on.
And we're still in firm belief that we probably should have made that grand finals at Birmingham as well. I think that series really slipped away from us against Ultimates, but we're just operating at a higher level than we were there. And I think SSG, they have almost become even a bit more aggressive than they were back in the first split. And I think maybe potentially to a bit of a fault, because it feels like you could catch them out kind of just like sending at some very random stuff from time to time, and kind of leaving themselves like very, very open in the back, more so than any other team I've kind of seen in a while. So I think they maybe loosened up and we tightened up, and I think we're just executing at a really high level right now, and we've been doing really well in the scrims against them too. So I think we had that mental edge as well.
I see. So what you gonna do? How you gonna handle Dan once the Cavaliers get eliminated?
Probably should practice off for a couple days, but no. He's good. I mean, he's still in high spirits. They're gonna win the series, so he's again. There's that optimism that I love.
That's good. We called it delusion.
Hey, that's kind of what I preach to him. I'd rather be delusional in our circle than let stuff creep in and kind of lose that confidence, even if we're doing things wrong. But I believe we're doing things right. So, and I think we have 4 really good minds on the team to keep our path, kind of in the right way. So, if Cavs lose, I won't beat up on Dan too much about that, but yeah, we might take a little break following that.
That's valid. That's definitely valid. Guys, do you have any more questions before we move on for Matt?
I just want to ask. I want to ask. Moving forward, I think it's clear, or at least in my eyes, y'all have a tight grip over this region. Yeah. I think that your next priority is the only team you struggle against, which is Carmine Corp. And how do you prepare moving forward, knowing that that's your toughest comp, and knowing that you can't scrim against them right now? How do you prepare moving forward?
I mean, look, I still, even despite how that series looked in Birmingham, those first 4 games were neck and neck. I still like how we match up against them. So the idea right now is, we're building confidence. We're feeling even better about our play. We're going to show up better against them next time. We'll get our scrim time against them in Raleigh. Obviously, we want to win, but main goal is Worlds. So everything, going forward, we're, using for prep. And so with Raleigh, with EWC potentially, and with Worlds, we're going to have a lot of practice against them. So it's to see how our current selves look against them when Raleigh comes, and then make adjustments based on how that goes.
All right. Now, you talked about domestically, it's easy for you, but it's not easy for everybody. We got to talk about Ultimates and the power outage. I just realized the screenshot topic is a picture of an empty chair, because that was LJ setup on Friday. He wasn't there. He was at another setup. That is insane. Can we bring up the bracket again, please, so we can take a look at this? Ultimates end up falling to Gen G, but it starts with the power outage on Friday, putting them into the lower bracket in their group. They end up ticking down Complexity, an important note that we'll have for later.
Very important.
To get there, and then against a lower round 1, and lo and behold, their matchup is against Gen G Mobile One Racing, and Gen G with Justin take down the Ultimates in 6. Bates, I want to start with you, man. Well, give me your thoughts on this.
Well, the Gen G versus Ultimates?
Yeah.
I mean, Gen G played well against Ultimates, man. They played great. It didn't mean much though. After that, they end up losing to the boys. The boys are a quality team though. The boys had I understand the boys got swept by Space. They didn't see it up there as 4-0. But I mean, I think at least 3 of those games overtime. Maybe all of them went overtime.
All four.
Yeah, they were all good games though. So the boys played SSG tight. I mean, the ball just sometimes doesn't run your favor. You make one slight mistake and it ends up costing you. And then it looks like you got whooped, but you didn't. So the boys are a good team. But if Gen G could take down the Ultimates, then that means you could take down the boys. But I tell you this, the ramifications of LJ's power going out are felt. Because now this 4-way tie that we're going to talk about in a little bit that's going into NA, open number 6, is going to be crazy. And a lot of these games, honestly, I wish there was a way to see them all at once because every single match is going to matter so much. And honestly, Gen G losing and not securing as many points as they need kind of puts them in a spot where they have to do at least decently, I believe. I believe they had to do decently in the last qualifier. So Gen G beating Ultimates, it's a good showing because that means they beat Ultimates one time this on the road to RALEIGH, and they beat NRG one time on the road to RALEIGH, which means it shows that they have the potential to beat, in my opinion, 2 top 5, definitely top 10 teams in the game, which is good for NA. But also them losing to the boys, it shows the inconsistency as well. Because then it just shows, wow, okay, you can really hit it. But I mean, once it comes land time, there's no room for error. No room for error at that point. Because I mean, the European teams, you already know what they're going to do. The MENA teams, you already know what they're going to do. And listen, you might get hit in the mouth by one of them OCE teams, man. I still got my sticky note on the Mars wall. OCE teams got to get top 8. So I got to roll with them for the rest of the season. I don't know why Matt's laughing. I don't know.
Because he knows you're delusional, man.
2 top 8s, man. 2 top 8s, man.
2 top 8s.
Where's the highlight package? Why did we not go straight to the highlights after the break?
Well, let's go into the highlights right now. Check it out. Gen G versus Ultimates, and it was quite a showing from everybody. Especially, you know, I'm looking at the numbers. Very demo heavy. Players were averaging 1 demo a game. On the side of what Cheese had 1, First Killer had 1.17, LJ 1.33, Magic Bear 1.33 demos a game. Both teams kind of really playing as effectively as possible, but Gen G definitely with the edge, out shooting Ultimate 7-6, 1.83 goals per game, a 26% shooting percentage. Ultimates had 21% shooting percentage, and this was just. I feel like you could definitely see the battle. You could see First Killer doing First Killer things, but you also could feel like Ultimates may not has been as comfortable. I mean, Wilders, how did you feel watching this one?
I mean, this team, Gen G, likes to prioritize the bumps. They like to play fast when they get on the offensive side of the ball, kind of disrupt you, get in your face, just be extremely annoying, especially Magic Bear Cheese. I mean, they've been doing it for so long with Reddles. Even before Justin. So going into this, I think Ultimates, they're a team that if you do end up landing a bunch of bumps and disrupting their flow of rotation, they get really uncomfortable really quickly. I think Gen G did a fantastic job in disrupting them offensively and also countering their attack. So when they were pushing up on offense,
the Carmen kickoff.
When they were pushing up on offense, they were able to disrupt a lot and get a lot of open opportunities because of it.
Man, I'll tell you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Matt, man, going into the match, bro. Who did you think was favored going in? Or did you think
I thought Ultimates honestly were gonna win. Now, I don't know if LJ was on his normal setup for this series because this was the day after the power outage, obviously, and he didn't have his cam on, so it was hard to tell. He looked a little off in the first half of the series. He definitely came back in the second half, obviously made it closer. And look, I mean, this still easily could have gone 7. That game 6, you know, as we'll see in OT, or the 0-second goal, that changes, you know, I mean, it pretty much ends the series because, you know, Gen G are then given a chance in OT and then they win in OT. And so I thought Ultimates were going to win this going in because I at the time I thought they were still the number 2 team in the region, and it's closer. It's closer now. I don't want to say definitely that they've lost that spot, but it's a lot closer. But I mean, you just got to give it to Gen G. They came out better. They were definitely the better team. Clutch moments like that from Cheese, obviously, you know, take them just over the hump to finish that series off. and then obviously this OT as well. It ends very quickly. So Gen G, I mean, just stole this one away at the very end, and I feel for Ultimates. Hope they can bounce back. Hope they have no outside factors come the next event. But yeah, Gen G were the better team. They fully deserve
Wait, you
that.
said it's closer. Who would you favor over, or in that second place position over the Ultimates? Is it Gen G?
Gen G, yeah.
And what do you have to say? What do you have to say to the people who rated Ultimates higher power ranking, coming out of going in the NA Open number 5?
I mean, they just beat us at Birmingham, so like it's not crazy to come out with that. Again,
Yeah, I know what you were trying to do there, Bates.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Try,
it's not
Good
crazy,
try,
buddy.
though.
Good try, buddy.
Yep.
Look, obviously, we still thought we were the better team. We thought we should have won that series in Birmingham, but I mean, it's not crazy to be like, yeah, Ultimates are better right now because they beat us in the third regional and then, or the third open before Birmingham, and then Birmingham itself. So yeah, it's all good. That's not crazy at all.
Good try, Bates.
Sit down, buddy. Sit down, buddy. I'm trying to be slick.
I mean, listen, I just saw somebody's FT top 10 was a little questionable. I don't know. I just want to check to go on the gauge how Matt was thinking about on the matter. He's lucky y'all saved you. He
He's a part of the org. If he doesn't say he's better than
no, I think Matt's a reasonable person. Matt doesn't believe that he's better than the team. He's gonna tell you honestly, we're not better than him right now.
That's not gonna. The team's better.
Yeah, Matt's not gonna go crazy, man. Matt's a reasonable person, man. You gotta be reasonable in order to be great.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the requirement. That's the requirement, man.
Yeah, you're a funny guy saying that one. All right,
do you really?
Write that down.
Write that down, please.
But listen, that's what power rankings are for. Now, if we did a power ranking today, I'd have different rankings based off of what I've seen recently. That being said, though, the ranking number 4 in North America seems very, very difficult right now because there's a big tie. I need to throw up the points for North America right now. These are the points. Of course, NRG, they have the 18 plus 40. 18 from winning the regional events. And then since they qualified for Raleigh, you have to give them that 4 because if you bottom out of Raleigh, you'll be guaranteed 4 points. So that's why they have the total 40 there. But of course, you see SSG at 20, Gen G at 18, and then a 4-way tie for 4th place between Complexity, Strictly Business, the Boys, the Ultimates, and the Ultimates. And then outside of that, Evo at 8, 9 lives and deleted, tied at 9-10. And yeah, Rebellion sitting at 11 after they also went through the roster change going into this Raleigh Open. I mean, man, who's gonna make it? Who's gonna make it? What are your thoughts on looking at this? This again mainly happens because of the Ultimates power outage and Complexity and Ultimates playing in that lower qualifying round.
Yeah, let me tell you how the bracket should have went, bro. Let me tell you how the bracket should have went. Let me go pull up Wikipedia again. Where is it? There it is. Let me find it for a second. The bracket should have went as follows. It was gonna go as this too. And first off, you had Ultras versus Low Step Bros. Now, I know Kep's got a big fan base, man. He can do as much dancing as he wants, much screaming as he wants on the stream. That wasn't gonna change the fact that his car's not moving fast enough to get the job done. So Ultimates would have swept them. And then what happened from there is that Low Step Bros would have went down and they would have played SOS. And when Complexity loses the space stage in the upper bracket semi, Complexity would have played not the Ultimates. They would have played SOS or Low Step Bros to qualify. And that would have had, and then the Ultimates would have just handled business more than likely against Team Evo. Even if the Ultimates lost to Team Evo, then they still would have played Strictly Business, which is still 2 games that you really favor Ultimates to win, which means Ultimates would have been in the top half of the bracket. They would have been playing in that top 4 upper bracket quarterfinal against NRG. If they end up losing to NRG, they would have played in the lower bracket quarterfinals. So they would have been where Team Evo and Strictly Business were in the bracket. If you're looking at Wikipedia, for those of y'all who are wondering what I'm yapping about, that's what I'm referencing. And then that would have changed everything because Ultimates probably finished semifinals minimum with the SSG. If they beat SSG or they're not, that's still at least 12 or 14 points. They're not tied with all these people. And that's a major difference. Also, Complexity would have had more points because they would have made the bracket. So they would have more points as well. So the fact that LJ's power has gone out has made all this a possibility.
All right, I gotta get Raul and Matt's thoughts on this. I mean, Raul, looking at the points, your team could make the major.
My team could make the major. We have to absolutely peak and win. That's what we have to do.
Honestly, you might not even have to absolutely peak. You're at 6 points right now.
What?
You're 4 points off the competition.
They'd have to absolutely peak.
This relies on
nobody else gaining points. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're about to say something asinine. You're about to say something ridiculous.
Yeah. No,
Go
I'm
ahead.
not.
Explain yourself then. Go ahead.
A team. Okay, I have another point, but I'll wait. I want to get everybody's thoughts on the list first, and then we can go into this point. I got something. Matt, points wise, I mean, where are you feeling NA's at right now, man?
I mean, of those 4 teams tied, I got to give it to Ultimates. They're still the clear best team in those. Shout out to the boys. They put on a heck of a weekend. I think it's actually a shame that, because, they went through the same situation Ultimates did, except they went through a worse version because they lost, but they had to forfeit both of their series. But, I would have taken us to beat them in that first regional, but who knows what they would have done in lowers. They could have accumulated more points, and they could be ahead of the pack right now of those 4, which would have, that would have been insane. And
really
Evo's made a major before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, shout out to the boys. That team played amazingly, like you said, Bates, in that SSG series. They showed a good level. That should not have been a 4-0. That was as close as it gets. But I got to go with Ultimates, obviously. Like they're the best team there. Pressure's going to be on them. I feel firm in that. Pressure shouldn't be on them as much, but the situation caused this. But they'll deal with it well. They're too talented. They're too good as a team to really fall victim to that unfortunate happening in the last event.
All right, I watched something this morning, and it was a video made by Gibbs, and I really want to talk about NA outside of the top 4, maybe even outside of the top 6. Not the NRGs, the space stations, Gen Gs, complexities of the Ultimates, everybody else. Because Gibbs had a question. I want to throw this at you guys. He's asking, should teams disband before Open 6? He's saying that if you can make a super team and win the regional, you are most likely guaranteed a tiebreaker at the least for Raleigh. Considering that, I believe, you get 18 points for a win. All the other teams that are tied right now are sitting at 10 points. So you get 8 points if you get a top 4, right?
What is this question, man?
No, you heard the question. The question is, should teams disband before Open 6?
No.
For what? For what?
To make the major.
To make the major.
What team
name a super team without NRG and Ultimates. Name a super team, Daz, please.
Okay, imagine NRG and Ultimates, me at the bracket, you're on the other side.
Okay, time out. No.
You
asked something else. Name
a super team
without the
NRG and the Ultimates.
Name 3 people. What Rawls saying is name 3 people that can disband and form a team.
That's gonna. And
you said they have to win.
And Ultimates.
Yeah, they would have to win.
Okay.
Look, I think the concept's interesting though. Just because I don't think necessarily place Raleigh hopes on that, but for that last chance qual. Going into Worlds, I don't think it's a bad time to maybe see how you stack up against the rest of the competition in this last regional. So if you do pop off and you win, sure, great. Then you're in a tiebreaker for Raleigh probably. But if not, you still get to see all those teams that don't feel like they're at the top of, everyone outside of the top 4. They should be thinking right now, I think, how do we make ourselves the top team? How do we make ourselves number 5? How do we win that last chance qualifier? And so I see.
Gibbs was talking about the LCQ.
Well,
he's bringing in the Raleigh points as a possibility, but he also is speaking on the LCQ as well.
Okay, so here's this man talking about the LCQ. See, that makes more sense for trial purposes, and on the less than a millionth chance you actually win the tournament. That's just not gonna happen. But yeah, I like for the trial purpose. That sounds like a good idea. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I don't mind it if teams wanted to go do that. That'd be interesting. That'd be cool to see. I think a little bit. And set them up for the LCQ. Cause you do gotta think about the LCQ. It's also gonna be interesting because what are y'all gonna do because you don't play the LCQ, so it's gonna be a long time without Rock League for y'all. So that's something that you gotta think about, Coach. You gotta figure it out. You're gonna figure out. That's your job.
Are tough. Now,
That's-
I guess the only bad part about trying out people for this last regional is the fact that signups closed today. So actually, teams would have had to make a really quick turnaround.
Oh, signups closed already today?
Oh,
for the last event, yeah. So
man, that's crazy. Signups closed already. The games don't play till like Friday or something, bro. That's a little early, man. Signups can close on Wednesday.
So this concept must be more centered around teams that either went out Friday or didn't even make the regional, because otherwise you can't move quick enough to.
Man, I'll tell you this, man. About these points, bro. These points is crazy. It really just comes down to, and see, this is a gripe I have. It comes down to who can avoid NRG. And that's good, man. That's man. That's what always annoys me about the points, man. Because listen, man. You can't just put all 4 of them and make them play each other. That would be the best way to go about it. All 4 of those 10-point teams, they all just got to deck it out. Deck it out against one another. But instead, one of them's got to run the NRG, man. I can imagine a scenario where, listen, we're in the bracket. They got like NRG's going to be in one of the semifinals. And then listen, man, they got they got easier semifinal on the other side, bro. You want to be on the other side of the bracket, bro? That's not fair.
Even Friday, like.
Oh, the Friday day matters too, man.
That's what I'm saying. There's a decent chance one of them runs into like us or a Gen G or an SSG.
Yeah, that's why you want to switch. You want Swiss more for that. When there's so many of them, you want Swiss, because then Swiss you at least start playing each other. But groups, when they're separated, like one group might just be a little better than the other one, man. That might be determining a lot of things. Yeah, so it's a little unfortunate.
Yeah. I think I do kind of agree with that. Not entirely, but I see value in having like an extra life, I guess, on that Friday, because like you said, that bracket can turn into anything with buckles and how that works, and how Swiss, you can go 3-0, but you get a worse bracket than someone that gets 3-1, and we've seen that.
Big buckles, man. Bruno, as CJ likes to call him. Is that XBR in chat? He said, if that actually is XBR, he said, tell NRG not to sign up for Regional 3.
I don't know if Dan was talking about this yesterday. I forget if we got the 1 seed already. I don't think we got the 1 seed yet. I think we have to make the regional to get the 1 seed. So can't do that. We need that 1 seed.
So need that seed, buddy.
Yeah.
Just make the regional and then DQ.
Make the regional, drop out. All right.
Yeah, but there's still the 3P. We got to try.
There's still the 3P. You got $15,000. You get a cut of any of that, by the way?
I don't know if I'm allowed to like say that on.
Oh, I don't know.
That's contractual stuff.
Okay. Listen, all right.
Not from Epic. That's contractual stuff, though.
Okay. Listen, we'll let it be. All right, man. Listen, if we had to pick a team though, out the 4 squads, you got Ultimates, you got the Boys, you got Complexity, and then you got who's the 4th team? Somebody give it to me.
You got 9. Oh wait, no,
it's not 9 lines. Give me the 10.
Complexity and Boys.
Strictly Business.
Yeah.
Strictly Business. Them 4 teams. Who you got?
Ultimates.
Yeah, Ultimates.
Not a question.
Yeah, I got Ultimates as well, man. I still think they're a top 5 team in the game. I believe they got that. They just gotta listen, man. Listen, LJ, don't let the power go out, bro. LJ, listen, you gotta drive over to a good spot, man. I'm only about an hour away, I think, or maybe 2 hours, man. Listen, hop in the car, bro. You can make this shake, man. You can play on the base setup, man. The base setup is beautiful. It'll enable you.
Basically, gonna be sitting right behind him, just watching the matches the whole time.
Bae's gonna enable him.
Yeah, he's disabling.
I'll say that Cole went 5 with Ultimates and SSG this past weekend, so they're still there. I think it's just that's probably Ultimates.
Yeah, and the boys look good too.
I think you have 1 seed. I think you have 1 seed locked in, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
I think you have 1 seed locked in. I'm confused. Let me see rankings. You have 30. You already have 36.
Yeah.
Well, let me see.
And what the next team below
us? SSG.
20?
SSG would have
SSG's
to
at 20.
win.
So if they win,
we
they would have. 20.
Yeah, you need 2 points. No, you need 4 points. I don't know how the tiebreaker works.
I need 4.
Because if SSG gets 18, then it'd be tied.
Oh,
they get 2
points.
Yeah, so I don't know what the tiebreaker is. So you need 4 points. Yep, NRG's got to play. Sorry, XBR. Hey, that's why he asked for y'all not to sign up. He's got real confidence that his team's going to win. All right, man. Let's talk about EU, bro. Let's talk about EU.
All right, of course, EU Open 6 is going to happen this weekend. And Europe, Karma Corp, they're going to be going for the 3-peat here. I don't I don't think we have. Wait, let me double check. Oh, I'm sorry. It's EU Open 5 this weekend. EU Open 5 this weekend. BDS didn't make it. Dignitas went 3-0 in Swiss.
Like always.
GK went 3-0 in Swiss, beating Carbine Corp.
Now KC.
Yeah, Vitality went 3-0 in Swiss. NIP went 3-0 in Swiss, sweeping Gentlemates, who went 3-1. And yeah, so those are, I mean, looking at like the top teams, those are the ones everybody's still kind of playing consistent. To answer the question, will Carbine Corp just win again? I'm still trending toward the yes. Does anybody feel any differently?
I mean, it's just hard not to pick them. But I mean, they got a lot of teams that can punch them. GK's already proven they can beat them. And I like it. GK's proven they can beat them. They beat them twice now. I think that's 2 more times than everybody else in the world has. And they haven't. Carbine has not lost that much this year. I think they might have lost.
Look good against them too.
Gentlemates look solid, pushed them 7.
That game 7 could have gone their way. That was a good. That was a good series. That was a really good series.
They haven't shown me anything that would suggest that they can beat them. They haven't shown me anything. And then so the only other question would be, I mean, they just got Vitality, man. But once again, Vitality also hasn't shown me anything they can beat them. Vitality plays them, and it looks like it's an okay series, but they haven't looked like they could just go take them down. I don't know, man. I don't know what your thoughts on that.
That one time in upper bracket in the first split, that one went 7, and that was like the one time Vitality really looked good. This most recent one, they just got going too late because they were down 3-0, I think, at that point. And so I like how Gentlemates looked the most against them. I thought Gentlemates like really brought it to them. I thought they held pressure really well in really big moments. Game 7, they had a couple really good opportunities at the beginning. Eugen had a really good setup at one point. He just hit like an unfortunate backflip. Otherwise, it was going to be something dangerous. They looked good. Carmine obviously edged them out in the end, but that Gentlemates team, I'm excited to see them again. For sure.
Man, it seems like you're versed in EU. You've been watching. What's your top 4 EU teams right now?
Gentlemates are going to start entering the conversation, but it's obviously KC. Vitality is still top 4. Dig is like so weird to me because they dominate Swisses usually. I'm also with Bates on like I don't know if they have what it takes to like beat a Carmine or even show levels to a Carmine, but like they're consistent at least at getting to where they need to get to make the major. But like Gentlemates look really good now. NIP I still have lots of hopes for, even though they just keep falling short. But that team really, they should be really contending even more for the major. Like they should be a bit more secure in my opinion. So top 4 is KC, Vitality. Right now, Gentlemates, and then probably have to give it to Dig. But you still have
GK?
Yeah, you still have them, but I still take Dig over GK, but just barely. And again, NIP's right there too. There's a real 6 there, I think.
They got great 6 teams. Yeah, that's 6 teams. That's the 6.
Yeah. I don't think anyone else is too close after that. So yeah.
Okay. I would say everybody keep their eyes on Gentlemates. They're sitting in 6th place in the overall rankings with 17 points. So they have to do really good here to increase their chances of making major. Otherwise, they risk being in the danger zone going into Open 6. NIP is sitting in 5th place in the overall rankings, just behind GK. GK has 34 points. NIP has 26 points. Another sticky note thing was Bates said NIP would finish number 1 in EU points.
Listen, man. Hey,
yo, you are terrible.
Yo, nah, bro. Y'all can't just act like that wasn't a good take, man. Nope. Hindsight is 2020, bro.
How is that a good take?
Nah, bro. You can't act like that wasn't a good take, bro. Nah, bro. Listen, I understand.
When was it, bro?
Bro, I understand it's Carmine Corp team for him then. And listen, everybody had expectations for him, bro. But the NIP team had expectations too, man. You got Nas and you got Itachi and like, man, you got a good squad, man. You got a good squad. You got a good squad, man. They got large Oscar.
When was their expectations to be better than either Carmine Corp or Vitality? Like,
listen. Well, first off, I think the expectation, when all 3 formed, was that they would definitely be a top 3 team. Without question, no questions
Okay,
asked.
but nobody
I think
said
that-
they would be number 1 in points except you, man. When were they going to be the best in Europe with their competition that they have to play?
I mean, listen, man. You got 2-time major champion in Itachi. You got Nas, man. You got Nas, man. You know he can
Cool,
break that table, bro.
that's beautiful, man.
And they got
we have a
Raj
whole
Oscar,
team. They have to play against a team that's composed of world champions.
Man, I didn't hear all these thoughts. I thought, nah. You can't do this. Somebody pull back the tape.
And another team that has the best player in the world in many people's eyes, a former best player in the world in many people's eyes, and a Tao who's an offensive wizard, bro. Like, how are you competing with this?
Because they're the dark horse team, man. Listen, they got
team?
quality, bro. They're a quality squad, man. Stop acting like these guys are just scrubs.
I'm not acting like they're scrubs. I'm acting like Carmine Corp and Vitality are that much better.
Man, this man got revision history, man. That's why you can't talk to this dude, bro.
You're not fighting my argument. You're fighting me, bro. Fight my argument.
I don't know.
You're attacking me. Attack the argument.
Somebody roll back to FT episode 1 for the season, bro.
Oh, so you're ducking. All right, he's backing away. Roll up the tape. What's the tape, bro? What does the tape say?
The tape's gonna say that all this energy that you give me right now, it wasn't there. It wasn't there.
Okay, and now it's here. So deal with it.
Exactly, and I don't want to deal with it. I'm running away.
Yep. Okay, you're ducking. All right, run away, buddy.
I'm running away,
buddy. Go ahead, man.
I'm running away.
Here we go.
Run away, man.
I'm running away. I mean, listen.
Looking at this, everybody's sticky notes are still technically on form to be right. Bates is the one that's the furthest away with the points and the OCE, but Arsenal had.
I mean, I actually had real takes though.
Arsenal had Twisted Minds winning a LAN, but then he also had SSG. Oh, he has SSG top 4 in their first lane, so he's kind of on pace. And then Roll Diz had LJFK Chronic winning a LAN.
I know he didn't even believe that. He forgot about it.
Of course you think I didn't believe it. How did I forget about it?
The whole chat watched you forget about it last week.
How did I forget? I didn't forget about it. I already knew it when I asked Daz to tell you about it.
How convenient.
But you're ducking, all right.
How convenient. I mean, listen,
right,
chat,
buddy.
was it crazy to say that NIP could be number 1 in points by the end of the season at the beginning of the year? Was that crazy? But a show of hands?
No, you think it's crazy.
Put one to the chat if you thought it was crazy. Put 2s if you think it's not. Put 2s if it's not. It wasn't crazy, bro. Why is Matt raising his hand? Why is Matt raising his hand?
It was crazy. Why would you ever go against Carmine or Vitality?
I mean, listen, man. Because Carmine had to fall off last year, bro. They had to fall off. Listen, Vitality, man. Listen, they
upgraded their roster.
Yeah, but listen, they upgraded the roster last year and they still had to fall off. So I don't know, man. Listen, Carmine, they can have a fall off. They go ups and downs. And then Monkey Moon led teams, bro. They just played great on the back end of the season, man. And, come EWC, come Worlds, Monkey Moon's gonna be ready. But Monkey Moon, listen, he understands. He's like LeBron now. He understands how the game works. He's not caring about the regular season no more, bro. It's all about the postseason. It's all about the playoffs.
Oh, it's about the postseason now. Okay.
It's all about the playoffs, man. Come on now.
You're such a flip flop. It's insane, bro.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm just giving y'all my mental impressions, my thoughts of why I thought NIP could have finished top 3, man. I mean top 1, bro. That's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah,
top one.
Top
3's alright, but top 1.
Yeah, top 1 is crazy.
I would say, to be fair, Gentlemates did finish first in points in the season, and they didn't win online at all.
Yep.
Most they did was they had 1 grand final. So that's what I said. It's still doable, but they would have to win the next major.
But it ain't gonna happen
to get into that. So
it ain't gonna happen. I haven't seen anything from them that shows me they should have a good chance at winning a major. One of these teams got to punch Carmine in the mouth, man. That's what I'm looking for. Man.
It's NIP for you?
It could be any of them, bro. It could be Vitality.
No. I need a definitive answer, bro. Who is it? Who's punching them in the mouth?
I mean, the closest team right now.
It's Mates or GK.
Yeah, I mean, GK's the only team that can beat him, man. And nobody else.
Mates good.
Mates can't beat him. Mates can't beat him. But I'm saying GK's the only team.
I think with a little bit more composure than Eugen, Mates take that.
Yeah,
I think Eugen was a little nervous.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. What's your grand final winner? Who you got winning open number 5 then?
Carmine Corp.
Carmine. What? I'm not going against Carmine.
Yeah. Listen, before for the take sting, remember they were supposed to be crazy. So it's
Okay.
okay if they wouldn't even let me put some down because they said I wasn't doing it crazy enough.
Okay.
So they were supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, that's good context. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. It was the hot takes of the year. So
Yeah,
keep
hot
that
take, man. Listen, I'm
keep that in
hot.
mind.
I'm hot, man. Takes are hot, but I'm
Okay.
cold, I guess. Listen,
Takes
man, it's
are
been a
hot,
good show, bro.
You're
Been a good
very
show.
cold, bro. Freezer.
All right, bro. Stop yapping.
Very, very cold, buddy. In the freezer.
All right. Well, just like the freezer, we need to close the door on this episode. Now, of course, everybody.
cheesy.
Well, first thing first, Satthew, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with
Thank
us
you,
today,
Matt.
man. We really appreciate it.
I thought he was in the chat from Matt, bro.
Thanks for giving a platform. Obviously, love to discuss Rocket League and everything. So appreciate it as always.
Yes, sir.
Of
Yes,
course,
sir.
of course,
Matt,
of
this
course.
might be the most engaged you've ever been on the show, man. You were smiling and looking at the camera the whole time, man. You were enjoying life.
That's again, life's good.
Man, this man's on the cloud 10 right now, bro. You see this man, bro? He's feeling good, man. Y'all should be scared over there across the pond, man. I've never seen this guy this happy. I've never seen.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, especially for Matt. Listen, we don't got time to talk about it. We don't got time to talk about it. I was going to talk about how Gingy was throwing up your TSM touch on the broadcast on Friday. You remember that?
Dang, bro. They brought up the TSM.
Matt showed up in the chat. They pulled it out so quick. They had his face on the screen with the TSM touch.
It was in. Hey, all I'll say is they were talking down on beast mode after we just beat them in the series. And of course, I'm going to defend my guys. And look, hey, I made the TSM touch, but I had a good career. I had some down moments.
That's right.
But
That's right.
Bro, come on. That's goofy from them, my opinion.
Yeah.
But
All right, let's close it out, man. We're 1 minute over. 1 minute over.
Goofy
1 minute
dudes
over.
over there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, we appreciate you so much. Thank you again for coming on. Disman, TB3, did what you had to do today, man. Much love, much respect. Everybody behind the scenes making the show happen day in and day out. We appreciate it. We love you. And also, big shout outs.
Get your hands up. Get your hands up.
Big shout outs to all you guys at Twitch chat coming in day in
Come on,
day out.
bro,
You better
bro.
have your hands up too as well, because you already know what's about to happen.
Bro, stop playing around.
Toodaloo! Thank you for tuning in to First Touch. We'll see you next week. Peace!